Hey everybody, it's your boy MC Fire coming at you again with another live or semi-live video. We'll be posting it based off the actual market, but we started a little early today because we have quite a few plays to kind of go through, or potential plays, I should say, and then we'll go ahead and post it kind of as we go along here. So we're gonna start out going pretty fast here. The market does seem to be recovering from Monday's woe fest. Um, and Sins has since kind of put in rotation off of this. This we're talking about Apple here has put in a rotation at 2020 28 and has since been pushing. So a little bit of a chop rotation, but it is making higher highs, higher lows, excuse me. So maybe setting up for an early stage of an ascending triangle there. Relatively an ascending triangle, right? We don't want to if I draw it through here, it's relative because it's not very clean, but you can kind of see that okay from here to here there is buying pressure. I really just like to illustrate the what the overall sentiment is. The sentiment is there's contest here, but there's buying pressure. This could go down, break from that buying pressure, or this could really absolutely explode. So just something to think about. But as it stands right now, not necessarily the setup we're looking for. Abriva, I believe this was ABBV. Uh, it is. We do have a potential setup to the downside, and I think it actually, if we kind of lock in there, might be leaning that direction. It's kind of in a channel rotational down kind of way, reacting pretty regular to its VWAP after the initial break. Reaction two. So it's respecting that VWAP. So if it does break above, that would be your rip. It is in kind of a negative territory, so I would be watching out for that. But I wouldn't, this is a base hit. Maybe look to roll it at lows, right? If the overall sentiment or trend changes for that doohickey. You got ADP, and there is a setup in ADP. It is at the highs, but I don't necessarily like to take those. I like to take them more closer to our 8 at minimum. Really in the kind of the sweet spot in the 21 to get a nice juicy rip. At 3 ATR, you can pass it with all the stuff that's on the board, and we got a lot. It's just good to know if it breaks high. So we'll put that there for continuity's sake. But really, we just want to be informed. We don't necessarily have to be in the position. AMGN, kind of same thing. Massive amounts. It's definitely currently in a downtrend. So buyers have kind of exposed themselves. Very violent stuff here. So we'll drop this down. Well, actually, yeah, we'll leave that. We'll leave that there. We'll leave that there. But we will say, okay, if you trade below this green, because the buyers are stepping in, but that wick leaves something to be desired, which means sellers are present. At minimum, price is slipping. We don't have I can throw our other indicators on here, but right now we just want to get into basic price action, kind of what's going on. Unbalanced volume would be really cool to kind of see at this point, but we'll get into that in a second. AVGO, we did end up taking that. If you watched the yesterday video or recap, we did end up taking AVGO to the upside. It has since, if you look at the bid and ask here, it has since pushed $2. We'll go look at it here. So got in a little high, didn't necessarily wait for a pullback, just decided to get in. I didn't know AVGO can be pretty volatile, right? One day it could just push and go, and then the next day it might not. Right here, this day, it just no breaks, just boom, right? It took off to the downside. Where this day, yeah, there was an opportunity to get a better price. We just didn't wait for it. It's now since pushing. This is a 2-minute chart on this side, a 10-minute chart here. So it has since kind of pushed kind of over the hill there, with a lot of work in after and pre-market. So there you go. AWK, American Water. This has been one that we've been trading, not necessarily a lot, but it is a new name that's been popping up. So it isn't currently in a downtrend, and as you can see here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 with a large amount of volume stepping in here. So Um, if we can break that level, it'd be nice to have get into a position to the downside, just so that we can kind of balance out the portfolio. Most of our plays are long, but if we can get a position going short, that would be pretty sweet. Obviously, it'd be we're aiming for maybe a base hit to the lows. That's how we would potentially set that up, right? These guys are a little exposed, and it seems as though if it breaks that, you could potentially take that play, right? And there's a squeeze on the board. American Express in the stratosphere. Not really much you could do here. I mean, if you want to be a reversion to the mean trader, this could be a potential setup that you can have. You could, a couple weeks ago that was the case. You have play here, and then there wasn't really a big opportunity. It was more of an earnings deal. But yeah, as you can see, there was more opportunities on the long side than the short side for sure. AZO, AutoZone looking really rotational. Uh, Not really picking a direction. But I did put an alert there because this isn't a very kind of crisp ascending triangle. And so, these guys, it isn't an uptrend. And if maybe this could be the thing that spurs on that rally is break of one of our setup candles here, and then it continued to the upside and really get it. So I will move. I'll add an alert if it does break the setup candle there. Um, if it does break that setup candle, it would be a great opportunity to see and maybe even catch the ascending triangle. Something to really watch out for because resistance is up here. So yeah, I would look for it to challenge resistance, but it's already touched like almost 3 times. One, two, three. So or it could just stay in the middle of the road and just chop about. So if you're prioritizing and you have stronger uptrends, I typically go strong uptrends, strong downtrends, then rotational trends. This would be one of those rotational trends that would be on that third tier that I would be eyeballing, right? So uh, AZO, very nice. Well, BKNG in the stratosphere, right? The time to get into the play of this play is somewhere around here, right? If you're in this play already, shout out to you. This is kind of a blowout candle or a heads up candle. The first blowout candle was like right here, but it just kind of blitzed through that. So like I would have probably took a roll or took some off the table, made a decision around here, which is right around the 3 ATR mark anyway. So it's just something to think about. What is high could go higher, as we could see. We'll hop over to one of my favorites, Palantir. What is high can definitely go higher. Being in that sense, very very early on, all the way down there, seeing very nice profits there. So, but I did take some off the table while it was going up. That's just kind of that's kind of the deal there. BKR. We are in the BKR, but have since rolled it twice. So we would be looking for significant break of the sellers. To the case in point, what's high can go actually higher. So rolling gives you the option to stay in the trade for time without actually taking off the position completely, but limiting your risk. So that we over here we just call that time to make a decision, right? Decision to take profits or decision to cut your loss. Because really, as a trader, that's all we're really doing. We're not calling up our friend Warren Buffett and telling him to drop 2 billion in BKR to push the stock. We don't have that amount of firepower. All we're doing is using the data that we have at our disposal, making a decision, not getting caught as a deer in the headlights, and really just sticking to the plan, sticking to the system. BlackRock, BLK. Also in the stratosphere, it is throwing a setup candle here. So we do want to be cognizant if the market goes like super parabolic. That's going to be some of your first signs like, hey, it's at 3 ATR, but it's breaking these setup candles to the upside at 3 ATR. Kind of a big deal. You'll see a lot of this though at this level. Signals start to get a little less spicy, right? Down here, it breaks and it really can rip, run, and do its thing. But up here, it's going to have a hard time at 3 and 4 ATR to really edge out. Caterpillar, not too bad, not too bad at all. I've been noticing like the John Deere's, the Caterpillars, and the Home Depots. They're all kind of pushing in tandem. So maybe 'tis the season. Um, if you're seeing this though, not really a setup there. It's just getting over the hump there. So the hump of these guys, right? They have to kind of break through there after they got washed, and so just keep that in mind. If it continues, but it isn't a clear, very defined uptrend. It's been an uptrend since I would say 9-2. Boom, as we can see here. We're just going through the setup so you guys can be aware of what's in play and how we could potentially capitalize on it. This is not for sure advice or on what you should do, or I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm saying, hey, there's really this lesson. The biggest takeaway today is that in the market there is a lot of abundance. Costco. Same thing here, man. The theme's kind of the same. And we can check out these sectors and look at it rotationally, probably or look at it introspectively on a sector level, because I believe a lot of these are in the same ETF, like the Costco's, the Home Depots, like consumer discretionary. And take a look at that, because the next one you've got Costco, and then you got Cisco next. So this is in the tech sector. It is also pushing very, very strong push off the bottom, off here, and reacted. If you notice at the 54 level, this level was put in way to the left there. So this is a level that the market really respected and liked. And as you can see, it was an open water. There was no earnings, there was no news, no dividends, anything like that. So I call it open waters. You can call it whatever you like. As it pushed back and threw up a setup candle, reacting off that level, it then exploded almost rotationally within the week. So really a nice push there, very nice setup there. No complaints there at all. So close to the 3 ATR mark, but in reality, as you're finding out, what's high can go higher and what's low can go lower. Your invisible line has no real bearing on the market. It's just when it helps you prioritize. John Deere, absolutely massive, massive move. And this is kind of what I'm talking about here. You might have took this off this candle, took this play, and then got stopped out right here for all your respecting all your buyers. But here, if you took this play in open waters, this is a rip, right? Absolutely. So it's somewhere in here, hypothetically, right? Definitely would be looking to take profits. Also, you do get an expansion of you might get the what's it called, the volatility squeeze post earnings. That's just something to keep in mind. Selling potential selling puts here would actually not be a bad idea, being so close to earnings. So you do capitalize on that squeeze of volatility instead of being on the on the dinkle end of it. DHI. So DHI is kind of struggling, but it is throwing. This is another one of these ones we can watch for potential play to the downside. If it breaks to the low here, and it doesn't complete what's it called? It's an actual completion of a trend change. We could see this one really really cut, because it does have these nice sharp pullbacks and then violent pops, right, for DHI. So that is one that we're gonna circle in and kind of keep on our list there for potential short. DHR, right? We've got about 4 minutes in the market and we're just kind of making headway. So we might not be able to get through all these, but we're about 50%. Same thing in the market to the downside. You're kind of catching the same theme here. Looking a little rough for this guy right here. It's already been beat pretty bad, but at the close to 3 ATR, I would look for a base hit down to the lows, and I would probably let it go. EHA in the stratosphere, not really much we can do here. I just want to know, like, hey, during this time period, do you push above, and what do you do? Like, kind of follow up. Edison Incorporated, kind of an early sign. I wouldn't almost say this is a downtrend just quite yet, but I'm gonna mark it as one because then when you start seeing volume candles, then you get to see, what are you doing? What your setup is here? What do you what's your plan? Like, what are you gonna do? So because it threw a green, does it follow through or does it not? And that's really kind of my biggest thing, right? We'll go ahead and give the heads up down there because clearly, it's we do have a death cross here. EIX, Edison Entertainment. Not too much going on there. Kind of continuing his push. Definitely a setup here, so this would definitely qualify as a blowout candle for sure. Yeah, if you took this, you're looking pretty right now. ETN, also same thing, and this was kind of an earnings play, but these are indications are pretty much there. You get a very nice juicy setup candle right there. So you could either take either one of these to the upside. The only thing is if earnings comes up bad, you're going to get caught slipping. So you don't want that. But again, same thing. At highs, watch out because at highs it could be buying, it could be selling. People just getting caught, right? GM also not really much to do there. IBM, same thing. Not really much we could do there. If you're already in IBM from this setup, kind of a double bounce situation going on here on the daily, it's kind of closed this gap, which is kind of what you expect around 50% mark. So for me, that's a heads up caution area going into a danger area. So just keep that in mind. RIM, one of my favorites, one of my first early big plays in the market. Could potentially want to see this break above here. It isn't not in the 3 ATR territory, so the idea that it breaks this is good news for me. ISRG, actually throwing a setup candle, but again in the stratosphere. We're gonna put the alert there, but this is just to keep you guys abreast. If you've been trading since like the last earnings, there was a setup candle in the last earnings where it did gap and then run pretty significantly. You would have made a hefty profit. Just selling around the earnings as opposed to buying is probably my best guess. Johnson and Johnson, a name that's been coming up a lot. There has been a couple buys here, and they haven't just triggered. A couple setups, but no triggers. So we're just going to keep walking that up. Coca-Cola, we got 39 seconds before we have open. Coca-Cola, kind of struggling over this last quarter. So, yeah, I think they recently had to close a plant down in Chicago, laid off a whole bunch of workers. So it's just one thing to keep in mind. Maybe they're cutting and they get profitable, and then we could see a trend change. That could be a good long-term buy setup. They do pay dividends pretty nice. So KVUE, in the stratosphere there, not but nice trend change here, and then with the trend change there was a setup for a nice push. um I wouldn't say necessarily this is a setup for us right now. So market is open. AMGN, we're gonna go take a look at some of these other plays that are actually kicking alerts. Okay, let's see here. Oh, it's already down there. That is insane. So yeah, this the setup for AMGN not giving you any kind of leeway, right? We were going so fast, so I was like, I know we just put this alert here. At open, it's already down here. So setup working a little too good, so good to the point where you couldn't even get in until after hours. A whole bunch of others. So we'll go look at our market watch really quick, see what actually triggered. Uh, that's good. That's good. AMGN, that's good. Nike at or above. Interesting. Was that today? No, that wasn't today. We just want today. So today's the 26th. So we only get one. Really one major trigger. Yeah. Okay. Looking through there, small print, but looking through there, yeah, we only got one really major. Oh, we got another one, J&J. So we got J&J and the Qs are pushing. Yeah, Nasdaq's pushing. Okay. Oh, we got Abreva and oh, these are canceled. Okay. So really just the one that we saw, and then Amazon was removed on this one day. So let's go take a look at our major indices. We'll go look at the Qs first, or we'll look at the SPY next. Gonna zoom in here. Boom, boom. We do have a play here off that setup. Coming into a little hot water as it tests this like fair value gap here. Um, and or this trading range, I should say, not fair value gap, but trading range here. Trading into fair value, as I like to call it. So it might be heavy, but we'll see. Fighting after hours, after major pullbacks, is pretty good. So this is what it looks like on the 10-minute chart. It closed relatively here and it's pushed above it. So this is a red candle, and this has since pushed up a little bit. We'll go look at the SPY. It's probably a little bit of the same story. Well, relatively different because SPY has a little higher relative strength. Last year was way different. Qs were pushing, and the SPY's relative strength was just absolutely lagging. Way cleaner setup, way bigger reaction to highs. It's kind of what you want to see because it gives you a clear sign to, hey, this is clear setup, kind of reacting off rotation, tapping the top here, and then you kind of, I don't know, let it go or make a decision at that point at relative highs. So expect to see some market pullback. Like, I don't think it's just going to blow through highs here. It could go just clean through it and just slowly trudge update 3 ATR. I would, but I wouldn't look forward like massive explosive growth. That's all I'm really saying there. That's all I'm really kind of keying in on there, because the idea that it's gonna keep turning and burning. I don't really see that. So we could look at some other ones on here. I think we left off at EIGM. Let's go look at IBM, IRM, Coke. Look at we already looked at Coke. We already looked at KVUE. Let's look at some Lockheed Martin. Right, so Lockheed Martin, um, kind of the same kind of trend, right? We were in, got caught slipping, and we had to go ahead and let it go. We did take some profits off the table. The first sign of danger, because I was thinking that, okay, if it just experience kind of taught me, hey, it could be going into like a bear trap setup. So look to make a decision early, and this is your bear trap right here. Boom. When things start going parabolic like this, you get a nice little bear trap. If you read the book, what's it called? I think it's like the 10-minute millionaire, or yeah, the 10-minute millionaire. They have some really good book examples for like when things go like super parabolic and get stretched to the extremes. What do it do? This is kind of one of those cases for Lockheed Martin. You see the bears really rally, and then the bulls really rally. After it goes super parabolic, the market kind of comes back to its senses, but there is a bear trap, right? Boom, right here. That's the bear trap. Uh, a bull trap. Sorry, reverse. This is a bull trap. So bulls get long. We took profits, and then bam, we kind of take it from you. So we didn't get caught in the trap. We got the treat, but the trap still played out pretty hefty. Uh, Lowe's is on the list. It was one of the last ones on there. So let's see kind of what's going on with Lowe's. Lowe's is a decent setup. A lot of the other positions, we are in Lowe's. Didn't get stopped out though. That's why we kind of respect all of our buyers, but not being a dick for a tick. It actually did get up there yesterday. We're probably shy by like pennies. I mean, literally pennies. If we go in here, we didn't get the alert to make a decision. Oh, that was after hours. No, it was during regular hours. Look at that. Yeah, so That happens, guys. That I cannot tell you enough that that does happen. So in lieu of that, right? In lieu of that, we um that's no bueno, right? The point to make a decision was kind of right there. We did get kind of ball squeeze. That's why I think it's still negative. But going up there, it was positive at one point. So price movement, but you got to be aware of like the vol squeeze, and that's what's going on here. We got vol squeeze. That's why selling coming up into earnings probably isn't that bad of a deal. Just reversing your vertical. MA, go take a look at that. MA Mastercard. Um, Nothing really there. Kind of the same story. It's not at 382R, but you know we don't have a real setup there, so we're gonna keep pushing MCD. Boom. Same story. No real setup. There is play. There are candles that are in play, but the reality is they're just hey, people are here doing their thing. McDonald's has seen a little slump, but I think it could see a profits return if they maintain their competitive pricing. People have been complaining that McDonald's is outpriced the average Joe, and that's where they like to go. So you just have to be kind of cognizant of some fundamentals, right? But not too much. So this might be a position we could take to the downside. It is significantly far away from our moving averages, and you'll see that the with the thrusts on the downside DHR is marked below. We'll go take a look at that. Cool. So we'll take this position here for DHR. We'll do puts. We're just gonna do one for illustration's sake. We'll take the buy here on the 50 delta, and we'll take the sell on the uh, there's a 14 delta we can pop on. So kind of liquid or illiquid there, but we'll make something shake, and we'll just take the one. Yeah, we'll fire it away. Boom. See if it gets filled. Things to the downside. I'll actually cancel or replace that. I kind of want to. Well, let's see. Let's see if we can get a good entry or what it's doing. Yeah, we won't chase. We'll let it come back and pick us up. If it does, awesome. If it doesn't, awesome. But our limit is kind of set where it is. We'll wait for it to come bounce back into the VWAP. And if it does, it'll come pick us up and maybe keep pushing. Yeah, we'll leave that there. So shout out to us. Got it. You guys got to see us enter a play today. I think we're at MCC. Well, it could just take off. But we're not going to chase. We're not going to chase that. MCC is mm, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, in the stratosphere, but I'm looking at it. There's some progressive resistance here. We'll mark that actually, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. There's pretty steady resistance at the highs. So any break of high would probably have significant follow through, just to keep in mind, because it's been in that level for a minute. But for us, it's more of a danger area. Once you kind of get up there and you blow a candle, I would look for it to kind of just keep blowing through highs. Seriously. Uh, MD is next. So not bad. Nice trend change here. Way back here. And that being in July, right? Very nice trend change and very aggressive push. Probably some either news or fundamental. I haven't really gone into it, but for us, as it regards to the fundamentals and that stuff, we do have a platform called Insight that gives us that through Cultrum. We do have that. So your setup might be here Yeah, maybe get peekabooed or don't get filled at all. But this one is definitely a very clear sign. They get in, stop out of the low. It actually takes a very nice rip. So getting in early on the little pullbacks is nice. We do like that. Pull this out of the way. Sweet. So something to watch out for there, right? Setups, like we like our setups. MRK, Merrick, very clear to find downtrend. A lot of setup candles. This is something we're going to be watching to the downside here. We're a little late on this one though. There was plenty of setups way before this that we could have definitely taken on Merrick. Okay, a lot of setups that we could have taken on Merrick. This being one would have been real nice to take. Stop out, respected all of our buyers, and had very nice fall through. ADP. Take a look at that as it comes in. Yeah, see, we just want to be cognizant of when this happens, because the next thing that will happen is like, well, does it? How often does it fall through? How often does it push to? Just because you catch people, catch setups at this height, maybe your market is changing and you could see more 3 ATR action, right? And you might have to, market conditions might push to 4, 3.5. Really, 3.5 is a lot, but 3.5 ATR to 4 average true range. It could be just a super bull, super volatile market. You gotta adjust. That'll adjust your decision making a little bit. So keep that in mind. Netflix is next. Boom. In the stratosphere, man. It's almost like it hopped on one of Elon's rockets. Um, so it really took off. The only, I mean, I put a green line here, but really the 21 period moving average never stopped really ticking up. So everything in there is like a position that you could potentially, I'll zoom out and get to it. It's really a position to buy. Like right here, that was that initial dip here. It's really just a section where you come in and scoop up like maybe a long term buy, coming out the red like that for a long term buy. So yeah, it's just something to think about as we do some back looks, back tests, right? Definitely earnings set up there, but look for the RVOLs, the not RVOL, the volatility squeeze. But yeah, in a stratosphere, there's not really much we want to do. It's just cool to look at. We did get an abrupt stop out on the Nike. I had to let it go. You can't win them all. This is one of those. It's like kind of, it could be transitioning, especially with the time period we're in. So they could be seeing some increase in profits, relative to the holidays. Um, we did take the play to the downside. A couple of days of fall through, and then it just kind of ripped, and then we just said, okay, we're done. So that's the result on Nike. Very small relative stop out to the portfolio. So but you see winners and losers, and that, I believe, gives us a genuine quality. Right, not all winners. Um, Very juicy setup for Nvidia. Remember, we've got a leap contract from the major pullback here, and how we were able to kind of spot it was, it started respecting this level. We saw it pull back. We were like, if it breaks back above, we'll take that, and then based off of the average, kind of understanding what the average is for this one, it was already kind of above average on the push down. So on the push back up, I was like, okay, I'll take it. Just comes with a little of experience and kind of knowing the tool, and then also kind of knowing, like, watching this one a lot. We missed all this. This was one that my mentor has been in literally since probably here, and that's not an exaggeration. Easily multiply multiple thousands of return, because all he does is roll it up, roll it out, roll it up, roll it out, roll it up, roll it out. And I think personally, I mean, I was like, man, learn from the right guy. We'll go take a look at that CEG. Boom. Yeah, so we wanted to see it get into this area here. This was like a previous alert. We did get stopped out here, but like I said, these kind of things happen. Not all your plays are just immediately going to go straight to your profit target. There is going to be some volatility. It did get stopped out. For me, it's a matter of okay, um, sticking to a plan. If I don't stick to the plan, right? Then what if this thing just keeps running to the downside? Then you exacerbate your losses. Well, you just go pull up the next play and keep your rules. Um, Stop to target. So I'm gonna write down so we can do this in the Sunday recap. I want to showcase this as a point to really prove, hey, to be profitable, some of your setups aren't always going to be like 100% profit. Almost nothing is in this market. But I think I'd be okay with this breaking and then getting all this, or this breaking down and me missing this, right? Breaking down, we take a stop out, it runs. Okay, it's not the end of the world, right? So you're gonna have other opportunities. You don't need to um, put so much weight on yourself as regards to how the play is moving. This play's got to work out. If you're already, we call that trading on tilt. If you're trading on tilt, just don't trade. Uh, that's my unmitigated advice to you. Do not trade if it's money that you absolutely need, and I think that's um, if you're for a newest trader, that's my advice. You're trading with money that you have said, hey, this is part of the plan. I don't need it for like bills, food. I'm not paying my rent with this. I'm not paying my car note with this. This is money that's disposable after I've already covered all those other things, all those other necessities. This is wealth building skills, right? PEP. I'm gonna push to PEP here. PP. So good old PepsiCo. Um. Ooh, look at that. Not too shabby. So what you could do at this point is, if it breaks the low there, nice juicy setup candle, very nice pull back into the seller. So they could be looking to add to their position. That's what I would consider. It kind of started the push around here, really fired off. So if they're looking to add, it would probably be off the break, take that to the low, and then stop out of the high. That's my guess. It's kind of close to it already. We're not going to sit around for it. If it happens, cool. We have the alert. If it doesn't, cool. There it is. Next is PG. We're almost done, guys. But even if we weren't, I really like this stuff. So we're never really done now, are we? PG. Massive rip from Procter and Gamble. Let me get my zoomed correctly. Bear with me. Boom. Very nice. And boom. Very nice. So yeah, the very violent dip. Very violent dip on 11.4. But it has since, like, you could see it, like it was still green. It was still green. The 21 was still kind of trending sideways. But when you see something like this, it's like, I don't know, man. So if you miss his rip, don't feel bad. No one's counting you out for that. But again, it's not really part of the rules. You're looking for kind of sells in this territory, but now we're in the buy territory, so something to consider. PGR is next. Kind of same deal as a lot of the story that we've been seeing. Progressive, really good company, fundamentally wise too, and then the setup here was pretty crisp. Um, and then it absolutely took off, right? So there was a setup there. It's just not what we were necessarily looking for. This kind of thing didn't peter out. And this is why I kind of like to have my edge within 3 or 4 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, no break above. So this pop that's not very violent, it's not very defined, just kind of peters out. So that's kind of why the rules are the rules, and so that you can get the desired results you want. This one is a little different. It's already in a kind of now pushing into an acceleration stage, and so this is a decent step to look to get some significant follow through. But Progressive, shout out to Progressive. PH, boom. Um, yeah, you guys already know what I'm gonna say about this one. Yeah, uh, yeah, it's there. It's there. Testing highs. and we'll see if it breaks highs. It could do it. You reversion to the mean traders. I'm giving you some juicy content here. So, but I'm not doom and gloom. I like my moving averages to catch up to price, and then push. It makes everyone's life happier. The government's, people's pensions, all that good jazz. Raytheon, good old Raytheon. So we are seeing some life in the defense contractor there, Raytheon. If it breaks above here and kind of keeps pushing, this would be one that we'd be looking to take, especially in this environment. Around the globe, there's quite a few conflicts going on, and this defense contractor would be, one to watch out for. So we have a kind of an unfiltered view over here. I don't know if everybody notices, but I really like to keep things straight and narrow, and on the skinny, right? You don't have to mince a lot. You could just say it like it is if you feel like that. It's probably not gonna hurt my chops. But we've kind of made it to the list. We'll pop over here to ETN and see what we got. Cause things breaking highs. Like, what do you know? Not anything while we're looking to scoop it up. We want to scoop it up like down here, but yeah, breaking highs. Shout out to it, and we'll keep turning and burning, guys. Thank you guys so much for all the love. If you've been watching in the setups, really appreciate it. You guys, I love doing this, but bringing it to you guys is kind of my honor. Really, it's a pleasure. So I like just sharing that there is opportunities out there for people, and we just went through a whole basket of them. They're there. So, guys, this is your boy MC Fire. You can sign it off. You guys have a good day, and goodbye.